We're going to be getting into some hybrid picking in today's video. This is another guitar technique that I use a lot. I've not yet talked about it in this series. So hybrid picking is basically when you're using a pick and one or more fingers on your picking hand at the same time. So it works particularly well for kind of country styles of music, kind of chicken picking and all of that stuff. Hybrid picking is very much associated with that kind of thing. But I use hybrid picking all the time in all kinds of different styles. So very often if I'm doing string skipping licks, or if I'm playing kind of double stop intervals, sixth for example, I'm going to be using a bit of hybrid picking. So it's a really good technique to get familiar with. So the little exercise that I've got for you goes like this. We've got and I'm working with triads here on strings 2, 3 and 4 in the key of A major. We've got 1, 4, 5 triads. So let's start with our 1 chord triad. This is an A major triad. We've got frets 7, 6 and 5. That's an A, C sharp and E root 3rd and 5th. And we're using this picking pattern. It's a very useful little hybrid picking accompaniment pattern, similar to the kind of thing that you might play on a banjo, I think, in kind of a country or a bluegrass context. So we're doing this. So pick is playing on the 4th string, and then middle finger is playing the 3rd string, and ring finger is playing the 2nd string. And the pattern is this: we've got pick, ring, middle, and then we repeat that, pick, ring, middle, and then pick, and then a final ring finger. And if you're playing that in 8th notes, that all adds up to 1 bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, if you've not done any hybrid picking before, you might just like to start with that, just with a single triad shape, and just get comfortable with that pattern, memorize the pattern, and then just work on it until it becomes even. So you want to be nice and smooth, and you want the rhythm to be even as well. You're trying to make each string sound at more or less the same kind of a volume. I've got a little bit of fingernail on my picking hand, which actually helps balance out the sound of the finger notes with the pick notes, but you don't have to do that. You can use the flesh of your fingertips. It will just give you a slightly different tone if you do that. And once you're comfortable with that pattern, we can take it through a little chord progression. And I was just using the 1, 4, 5 triads in the keys. So this is another good fretboard knowledge thing to be aware of, just using triad inversions to find nearby shapes. So if we've got our 1 chord here, if we want to go to the 4 chord, the nearest available D triad shape is this one, frets 7, 7 and 7. And then the 5 chord, E major, you could play like this, frets 6, 4 and 5. And then we can just plug our little picking pattern into this chord progression. So going to the 4 chord, back to the 1, and then to the 5. 2 bars on each of those chords. And then what I did was just did exactly the same thing, but using some higher inversions. So we could play our A chord here, and then D like this, and then E like this. Otherwise the exercise is the same. Obviously lots of ways that you could practice this kind of idea. You could try it with various different inversions. You could try it on other string sets as well. You could try other different types of chord progressions, so you can really make this exercise your own. That's it for today. See you for more technique fun tomorrow.